What all misconceptions are there in yoga, what dangers are there, and what all precautions. We will shed light on these very topics and many questions related to yoga, and we will provide solutions for them. Because yoga, a very vast discipline, a very vast scripture. To become fully proficient in yoga, it takes a person at least 5 years to become completely proficient. The function of a yoga acharya was the complete knowledge of yoga. Because yoga is not merely asanas, nor is yoga merely pranayama. Yoga is not merely meditation. Even Ashtanga yoga is not yoga. Ashtanga yoga, in Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, is one system of yoga. You will have to read Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Darshan in its entirety. Do you want to know yoga? Do you wish to become proficient in yoga? Then you will have to read Geran Samhita and Hatha Yoga Pradipika. If you wish to become proficient in the science of yoga, then you will have to study anatomy. You cannot gain proper knowledge of yoga even without knowledge of anatomy. For proper knowledge of yoga, you would have to study the entire Vedic literature. If you start studying the complete Vedic literature, the grammar of the Vedas and Vedangas, the Shastras, Chanda, Kalpa, Jyotish, Nirukta, if you start studying all of these Vedas, Upanishads, Brahmana text, then it would take even more time, at least 12 years. And if one looks at it generally, well, as long as there is life, a person remains a student for 48 years of. Inside, in ancient times, the complete education and initiation of the 4 Vedas used to be provided. What I mean to say is that if you wish to become proficient in Yoga Shastra, then you would have to study the Vedas a little. You will have to study 11 Upanishads. Your minimum study should be 11 Upanishads. If you want to become a good yoga teacher, want 11 Upanishads, 6 darshanas. Then, among the 6 darshanas of Yoga Darshana. So, each aphorism should be memorized by you. Then, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Giranda Samhita, and a little bit of knowledge of Charaka and Sushruta. Even if you don't have complete knowledge of Ayurveda, of physiology, then you should definitely have a little bit of knowledge of Charaka and Sushruta. Without that, you cannot truly become proficient in the discipline of yoga. Just as a quack doctor harms a patient, similarly, some park-style yoga teachers can also harm you. I haven't gained complete knowledge about yoga, having only learned a couple of pranayamas. Learned a few asanas. Learned to move the legs up and down a little. Performed chakrasana. Did a little shirshasana. Did sarvangasana. Did paschimottanasana. Learned to breathe in and out healthily. Even I am a yogi. I don't say that he is not a yogi, but at least there is one. At least for life and maximum life, there is no. It's not just a limit, at least an understanding you should have of yoga. Minimum qualification and maximum qualification are considered for any subject. Maximum, although there is no ultimate limit, exists. But a qualification, a capability, a qualification. There is a qualification even to become a sadhu, holy man. This is unfortunate. Today, the religious authority and the political authority, in politics, there is no need for any qualification. Whoever feels like it puts on white clothes and jumps into politics. Even today, there are capable men in politics. But if one wants to enter politics, one should have the competence for it. One should have. Want to be a saint? Qualify too. Qualification of a sadhu. It's not that one just buys a saif to dye and puts on saffron. Clothes. The clothes turn saffron. And then they become a babaji, a sadhu, a sannyasi. The dignity of renunciation diminishes. In every field, in every discipline, it has its dignity, its eligibility, its competence, and capability. The capacity for renunciation is not merely knowledge. There should be detachment. Knowledge of both paravidya, higher knowledge, and aparavidya, lower knowledge. If someone becomes a renunciate without the knowledge of para and apara vidyas. If someone becomes a guru, he will spread illusion. He will spread hypocrisy, ostentation, and commercialize. Religion. He will also cause harm to religion and culture, and many people, becoming confused and misguided, will make their lives dark. Therefore, qualification and ability. Just as it is for becoming a doctor. For example, if someone becomes a doctor in Ayurveda or allopathy or homeopathy, then a certain ability, a certain qualification has been prescribed, that they must have the required qualification. Similarly, a qualified teacher should have such a code of conduct. Today, indulgence is being promoted as yoga. Those whose lives lack self-control, penance, sacrifice, if they teach yoga, then how can yoga truly penetrate one's life? When no yoga in one's own life. In yoga, self-control, yoga, austerity, yoga, etc. Mindful detachment, yoga meditation's essence. Yoga is a higher, elevated level of mind's consciousness. The mind is a personality with an advanced character. Now, for one whose character is advanced, in whom there is no renunciation and detachment, whose, if one lacks right perception and wisdom, one who is not as Sita Prajna, of steady wisdom themselves, what kind of yogi are they? Who, in the name of yoga, propagates hedonism. Therefore, a minimum education for yoga, a minimum eligibility for yoga, and that too, not just at the level of knowledge, but also at the level of conduct. It will be even more important at that level. Only then will yoga bear fruit. Only then will the effect of yoga come. Only then will yoga be propagated. Only then will yoga be accepted. Therefore, the minimum qualification for yoga, if someone wishes to become an acharya, master teacher, and teach yoga, they should have at least 5 years of study training. And if one wishes to be fully educated and initiated, in yoga, it will take them approximately 10 to 12 years. After receiving yoga education for 5 to 12 years, they should then teach yoga. They should, with full authority, be proficient in all practices. It's a different matter how much he will make others do. That became a separate topic. What he makes others do. Does he make them do neti or not? Does he make them do dhoti or not? Does he make Shankprakshalan neti? Does he make them do it? Whether he performs basti kriya or not. He should know how to do dhauti. Basti and neti techniques are essential skills for him. He should also know how to do nauli. He should also know how to do trataka. He should know kapalbhati. These kriyas are called shatkarma. Yoga, no shatkarma, sirsasana, and chakrasana. He should know mayurasana. He should have practiced all the difficult kriyas of yoga. It is a different matter who needs to do what, who does not need to do it, that he will decide. A yogi. But within his own body, there should be enough capacity that he knows how to do yoga. He knows yoga asanas, pranayama, and meditation. Knows spirituality's nuances. How many others? Theirs is a different matter, but he should have that understanding. Physiology knowledge is also needed. Disease in their body, they should have complete knowledge of the disease. What is asthma? What is cancer? What is depression? Why does it arise? Why do diseases arise in the eyes? What is a thyroid problem? What is diabetes? What is a prostate problem? Sexual diseases for mothers, sisters, and men. How does it arise? Why does leukodama arise? What is kodarma? What are the various types of eye problems? How do they arise? Various types of heart problems. Why do heart blockages occur? She should know what they are. No cholesterol and triglycerides. She should have relevant associated knowledge of human physiology. Only then will she be able to tell others how it can be remedied. When the cause itself is not known, what remedy will she suggest? Therefore, do study Charak, Sushrut, Shrangdhar, Yogadarshan, Vedas, and Upanishads, a little bit for. Sure. My brother, this is not a Bhagavad Katha. Even to perform a Bhagavad Katha, you need to not only of Bhagavat, but along with it, the entire Vedic. Study literature, study Indian religion fully. Philosophy, culture, history, and Indian wisdom. Only then does one become an expounder of the scriptures. Furthermore, in yoga, the entire Indian, when spiritual and Vedic literature is involved, then you must possess the requisite qualification for it. If you want to become an official Acharya of yoga, anyone you see, they are a Yogiraj. This doesn't mean that other yogis cannot be. I have just told all my workers, volunteers, and ashram officials that just stop writing Yogiraj. What difference does it make if Yogiraj is not written before my name? One's introduction identity is sufficient in itself. These titles become ailments, burdens. I was telling you about the authentic of yoga. To be an Acharya, one needs complete knowledge, full wisdom, and such conduct. Then yoga will be fruitful. Go to such a guru and learn yoga, who himself practices yoga. Learn yoga from such a guru who has knowledge of all the complete disciplines of yoga. This has become specialized knowledge, a special teacher. Yoga is such a profound discipline when there are so many precautions within yoga. Now see, when yoga is practiced incorrectly, it can also have its dangers. Many misconceptions about yoga, the misconceptions of yoga, the dangers of yoga, the precautions of yoga. This is what we are telling you about today. First, we explain the eligibility for yoga. Who should learn yoga? Many people asked us questions. Today, by presenting those very questions to you, we will try to provide their solutions. Yoga is a profound and mysterious discipline. By teaching it collectively, you are breaking tradition. I am questioned. I am not breaking tradition. I am establishing tradition. People had also turned yoga into something else. We taught yoga. By God's grace, I also studied the scriptures. I also studied the Vedas. I also studied the Upanishads. And I also studied the darshanas, philosophies. I also studied samhitas like Charak, Sushrut, etc. I studied in the Gurukul tradition. Therefore, I believe that if maximum. Otherwise, I definitely consider myself a middle-level practitioner, and I never consider myself a master. I only call myself a seeker. And I don't even claim that I have fully. Yoga, much more to learn. Yoga knowledge shared. What I learned, I taught. And I would even go so far as to say that, as much as I am for teaching people, if people also teach as much as I advocate, there is no harm. Another question. And along with this, the solution to both of these, many people also ask, Swamiji, then you talk about teaching yoga in every street, yoga everywhere, parks, guest houses, all public spaces. Why do you say such a thing? And every single person who teaches. In just 7 days in a camp, you tell them to teach others. So won't this lead to mistakes? Won't there be risks involved? Doesn't this require caution? As for caution, even in that, within 7 days, we teach 7 pranayama, 7 gross and subtle. Practices 7 asanas. This much is not for 7 days, this much is learned in just 1 day. There's no harm in teaching that much. But they cannot be official spokespersons of yoga. Those who are teaching cannot be authentic authorities on yoga. Those who are providing free training in branches across the country should continue to do so. But they should only teach what they have been taught. Don't give more than that. We taught them a lot. Bastrika, Kapalbhati, Anulam Vilom, Brahmari, Ujjayi, or meditation, Mandukasana, Shashankasana, Bhujangasana taught. Shilabhasana, Naukasana, Uttanpadasana, Markatasana, etc. Simple practices, no harm done. But also keep this in mind. If you teach beyond this, exercise caution. By the way, in today's era, who has the patience for 5 or 10 years? Therefore, we have provided as much as a person's minimum requirements are. Accordingly, these 3 books covering pranayama, its mysteries, yoga practice, yoga therapy, secrets, and the philosophy of medicine were structured so that the common person could understand. Yoga. This knowledge should not remain esoteric, nor should it remain mysterious, which is why many secrets were also revealed. Therefore, 2 things. The first thing is collectively yoga. There is no loss in doing this, only benefit. The benefit is in this sense that if we practice yoga collectively, then everyone shares a common resolve. Everyone has. similar feelings, everyone has faith, and inside everyone, there is deep devotion towards God. So the environment that is there at that time, that which is inside the camp, the atmosphere that is present, when thousands of people are doing yoga, then all of of emotions, of their collective resolves, of their prayers, of their deep devotion upon that entire environment, upon the entire atmosphere, throughout the entire universe, as if a remembrance of a divine energy. When this starts to happen, the environment has a very deep impact. How can you do this? In such an environment, practicing yoga collectively in camps is not harmful, but beneficial. Firstly, the practitioners at a distance of approximately 4 to 5 feet, they sit, therefore, if one has a specific disease, then from that onto another. It does not have a negative effect. Rather, by practicing yoga, while sitting 4 to 5 feet apart, people are influenced by each other's positive energies, and negative energies do not have an impact. Secondly, we only conduct simple and easy yoga practices collectively. Complex practices heed precautions. We don't do those complex things ourselves. Sursasana, Chakrasana, Dhanurasana, or even Sarvangasana and Halasana in our camps. We conduct those for children. And that is why we have now created approximately 50-hour programs for yoga, so that even by watching these 50 programs, which together make up 50 hours, one can learn a great deal, if not everything. So, yoga is not some mysterious discipline. There is no harm in practicing yoga collectively. Earlier, 10-15 people used to do yoga while sitting because they used to perform specific asanas. Padmasana, Chakrasana, Sujasana. If these are performed collectively, it will cause harm, and there's no need for them anyway. Today, if we have inspired crores of people in the country for yoga, that was not done by teaching Sirsasana. It was not done by teaching Chakrasana. Although we did teach asanas, not simultaneous, special cases only, to increase the height of children and for their overall development. Kids doing it's fine, even good. How to do yoga in childhood, how to do it in old age, and what should a common person do? So for the common person, we explained simple, general, and easy pranayama. And with just that, people's incurable diseases were reversed. I understand that the simple yoga practices are Bhastrika, the practice of Kapalbhati, the practice of Anulom Vilom Bhramari. Ujjayi, such easy practices. Anyone can do these easy practices. You need to advance from this point onwards. If you want to gain knowledge of yoga, then it will also take time. One will also have to practice it. The main point is many such questions related to yoga and their solutions, which a common person should definitely know. Should a person do pranayama or not? Yoga reduced to just asanas. People had started saying yoga. As for pranayama, a householder must not do it at all. A very big lie was told. Don't know why or by whom. This is not written in any scripture, be it Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, whether it is Hatha Yoga Pradipika or Geranda Samhita. The entire tradition of Hatha Yoga means the tradition of Guru Gorakhnath, in the tradition of Guru Matsyendranath, in the tradition of Hatha Yoga, in the tradition of Maharishi Patanjali, and in the Vedas themselves. God has nowhere forbidden that householders should not practice pranayama. But somehow a misconception was spread. Who spread it? No idea. A rumor was spread that householders should not practice pranayama because people actually had no knowledge of pranayama, and if they did, what did they do? Richaka, Kumbhaka, Puraka, and what did they consider its benefit to be? It provides spiritual benefits. As God inspired us, we guided people to practice pranayama, and the result of pranayama was that by doing it, not millions, but tens of millions of people in the country became healthy. They were suffering from various diseases, and it was a very simple yoga. It was not difficult. Just as breaths are naturally happening, a special rhythm was given to these breaths, due to which, till date, no one has refused to breathe. They died when their breathing stopped. Some people also tell me that, Swamiji, you're such large. Camps are held, and if someone there gets harmed, then on your TV show alone, 2 to 4 crore people watch and practice. If someone gets harmed by that, then what? I said, look, brother, as a matter of fact, no one has any control over death. A person, while walking, sitting, or sleeping, can receive its call of death at any time. That's not really a question. As for the question, not a single person has died while doing pranayama, because pranayama gives life, pranayama gives energy, pranayama gives the brain and heart full. Our endocrine system fully embodies our entire vital energy, the prana called life. Therefore, practicing pranayama has not harmed a single person to this day. Just a small precaution, which we will explain later. With that, they will suffer no harm. Neither has it happened, nor will it happen. Just pranayama, which is advised against doing. That pranayama should not be done yet. Which pranayama was it that they used to forbid? Was it that was breathing in? And held it back, and then exhale for 5 minutes at all. Then, if you released it later, what would happen? This will cause harm. There will be no benefit. So look, if you want to learn yoga properly, then keep a few things in mind. First of all, do not stop. There will be no harm from not stopping. Stopping can cause harm. Therefore, we also perform this pranayama process, that breath retention. Also, headstand asana. It's not necessary for everyone to do a headstand. Heart patients, high BP patients, patients who suffer from epilepsy, patients who have a brain tumor, those who have even had eye surgery. If they do a headstand, then death is certain. Then there will be paralysis. There will be a brain hemorrhage. Caution is indeed necessary. Even when you take medicine, take your own medicine dose. If you take 1000 mg, you will die. It will cause harm. Caution must be exercised even while walking. Caution must be exercised while eating. But I didn't just say caution. You walk on the road, you live in a house, you use electricity. That same electricity which gives light can also cast darkness over life forever. Because if you were careless and touched a bare wire, then you know what will happen. So, look, brother, you have to be careful everywhere. Do yoga, do pranayama. Do proper asanas, meditate. Eat and drink. Now, a person should eat food. Instead of food, they started eating poison. They also started overeating, eating danger. Be careful. Eat carefully, sleep carefully. Important, be aware. Until today, humans have learned everything, but no one taught anyone how to breathe. Humans started breathing on their own. The moment they came out of their mother's womb, they started breathing. Some things are natural. No one taught us how to breathe. We started breathing on our own. For example, animals and birds learn things more naturally than us. For instance, a human child is taught how to swim, but a calf, a buffalo calf, or a fawn knows how to swim on its own. Because God knew everything for his teaching, that no schools would be built. Taught man to swim, man. Taught to eat, but to breathe him. Even God taught it, because it was thought that perhaps this human, if I tell him, he will mess it up. How one should eat, what one should eat. God left this up to man. So, he started eating meat. He completely forgot the anaprashan sanskar itself. I was telling you that there is no harm in breathing in, no harm in exhaling. No, the method just needs to be right. A householder should practice pranayama. If a householder does not practice pranayama, then his domestic life will not run smoothly. If he no longer has control over his breath and he did not practice pranayama, then there will be no radiance on the face. His sexual power will become weak. He will no longer be able to procreate. Mothers, sisters, if they do not do pranayama, then the uterus, the ovary too. Tubes blocked, health fails. Bedtimes ahead. Do pranayama. No pranayama, no health. This is 100% certain. Therefore, there are dangers in not doing pranayama. There is harm in not doing pranayama. There is no harm in doing it, but caution is necessary. So the first thing is that pranayama. Even householders should practice breath holding. Pranayama should not be done by householders. Yes, you might have heard. Pranayama isn't just for Himalayan yogis. Forest penance, breath held for long periods. For years and years, they would practice samadhi. They would even sleep hungry. For many days, they would not eat food. Brother, listen to me. Yogis who meditate, those who live in solitary forests, even if they don't do pranayama, it's fine. And if they do practice breath retention, it's also fine. Suppose someone lives in caverns, in caves, or someone lives in a forest who has completely broken all ties with the world. That person is sitting somewhere performing austerities. And if he inhaled, he held it. And he keeps holding on. And suppose that while holding on, his life comes to an end, he passes away. He departs for Brahmaloka. He passes away, then for him, he has to go to God anyway. He will also incur a loss. The attainments he had gained, the enjoyment of samadhi. His path incomplete, destined spirituality unclaimed. Ascension or not, he faces God. Even if he passed away while continuously bowing, then what's the harm in that? But if a family man does this, his children will starve. There's no stopping him. That's why when I make practitioners do even pranayama, I say just one thing. Heart PP issues? No pranayama. There is no possibility of harm either. Another very big lie, another very big misconception was spread in the name of yoga. They said that those who have heart problems, those who have high BP should do pranayama. And almost all of them in the name of yoga. In fact, whoever learned a little bit about yoga by reading a few random books, here and there, just wrote a new book of their own. And what did they write inside? It said that those who have heart problems, those who have BP should not do pranayama, yoga practice. Heart patients, BP patients, yoga will not do. If one doesn't do pranayama, there are risks. So harm. There is no harm in doing it, just a little caution is needed. If a heart patient does not do pranayama, does not get an operation, he will die. So listen to me carefully, do pranayama. Heart and BP, pranayama, proceed with caution. What to know? Do not do it with force. Look, this is important. Those who have heart problems, those who have BP, those who have back pain, those with ulcerative colitis, problems, those who have epileptic seizures, for very weak individuals, those who have asthma. Do pranayama slowly. Do it slowly. Do not do it forcefully. If you do pranayama, even bhastrika, doing it forcefully will cause harm. The asthma patients should also do it slowly. High BP patients, slowly, slowly, hard. Pranayama slowly. If you have neck or back pain, be careful. It's painful. Go slow for those who have ulcers, those with ulcer colitis in the stomach. Perform pranayama slowly. Those who have recently had heart surgery should not do pranayama immediately. If you have undergone open heart bypass surgery, then after 6 months, start pranayama. Begin slowly, continuing to take long, slow breaths, little by little, gradually. Healthy long after the op. Avoid these breathing exercises. Performed. Instead, practice completely and very slowly. Yes, if you have undergone the angioplasty, then after angioplasty, you can start slowly after approximately 15 days. You can gradually start pranayama, but at a very slow pace. If you have had a C-section or you have had a delivery through a normal operation, then you after delivery, when the wounds heal, all. The stitches dry well, then 6 months later gradually start, and 1 year. After that, they can do it even if they have had any operation, no matter where or what kind. Hernia patients should do pranayama slowly. Just keep in mind that this much caution is needed in pranayama. Then, especially for mothers and sisters during their period, during menstruation, they should not perform bhaya pranayama. This is something mothers and sisters should remember during their periods. The main thing is caution then. There is no danger, then there is no harm. Pregnant mothers, pregnant women shouldn't do Kapalbhati or pranayama. Therefore, a very slow-paced Bhastrika breathing program was created for mothers. For sisters, for those who are pregnant, Bhastrika, Anulam Vilom, Brahmari, Ujjayi, one should meditate on pranava by naturally pausing and observing the breath with a witness attitude. Then, for pregnant mothers and sisters, if eye surgery has been performed, do not perform pranayama immediately. Just keep this much in mind. But later, definitely perform pranayama. Otherwise, eyesight will further diminish. And glaucoma patients, etc., whom we are not mentioning, everyone must do pranayama. Glaucoma or white-black cataract patients practicing pranayama, then white and black cataracts get reversed by themselves, just like that. Important point. Those who have constipation should not perform pranayama vigorously. Do it slowly. Constipation will also be relieved. But make sure to do one thing. Those who have constipation should eat bottled gourd vegetable, Triphala water, then Kapalbhati. Reverses constipation permanently. For acidity, do pranayama, but do it slowly and also adjust your diet. Make a slight correction. What's the main point? Doing pranayama during fever. Should, because some do it regularly. They don't miss even a single day. Pranayama should not be done during fever. Rest at that time. If you have a cough or have caught a cold flu. Similarly, when the season changes, pranayama. Such people keep experiencing colds, coughs, phlegm, nasal congestion, bacterial, viral infections fluctuate even seasonally. Ordinary, pranayama and yoga. For those who practice continuously. Still, if it happens, do pranayama, Kapalbhati slowly. Anulam Vilom, slow, not fast. Flank clears. Drink warm liquids. Drink water. Eat healthy. Whatever home remedies are suggested. Patients with phlegm-related colds, asthma patients can do pranayama, but fever patients should not. Extremely thin individuals should do yoga. Many people think Swami Ramdev conducts yoga for obese people. Swamiji, Babaji, who reduce obesity, say so. Then thin. Yoga, good for everyone, especially the thin. Healthy digestion and endocrine system will be fine. If their body also improves, their metabolism will automatically become fine. Look, thin individuals should do pranayama. They should do Kapalbhati for 15 minutes. Anulam Vilom, all these. But pay attention to this. After pranayama, definitely drink milk and drink as much as you are hungry for. Drink half a kilo of milk. No problem. Eat fruits. Among fruits, eat bananas, mangoes, etc. Take ashwagandha and shatavari, 100 grams. Keep taking 1 spoon of its powder morning and evening. Keep taking a nutritious diet. Once you take a nutritious diet, while a healthy person practices pranayama, pranayama means eat more food. Not necessarily. Dieting isn't the answer. Ghee and milk are not the solution. Eat your regular diet. Eat less, drink milk. Keep having some almonds in milk. If you're completely healthy, then you eat normally, plus almonds in milk if thin. Eat well, add ghee. That'll help. Body digests, gains appropriate flesh. Therefore, in our camps, where weight decreases by 3 to 6 kg in 7 days, whereas for those who are underweight, their weight increases by 2 to 4. Gain weight in a week. Kapalbhati helps even if you're thin. And Anulam Vilom, etc. All pranayama must be done. Pranayama can be done at this age. Question, children can. Do pranayama from the age of 3. Bhastrika, Anulam, Vilom, Brahmari, etc. Asanas. After the age of 7, children should be taught difficult asanas. Yes, such as Mandukasana. There's Uttanpadasana. There's butterfly pose. You have to rotate your arms in circles. These are small yoga activities. Even small children can do these. Children should start asanas at the age of 5. And after 7 years, children can also do difficult asanas. Even 3-year-old children can start pranayama. And nowadays, even young children are doing it. After all, there is no harm in it at breathing in, breathing out. Kids like this breathing exercise. This also leads to good mental and physical development. IQ up, better focus, more patience. Entire endocrine system becomes healthy. Therefore, children as young as 3 years old can start practicing pranayama. Many times, proteinuria seen in children whose kidneys were deteriorating since childhood, we made those. Children practice pranayama and their kidneys became healthy. Pranayama from age 3, safe, beneficial. Difficult breath retention, pranayama excluded. We don't even teach those difficult pranayama. I'm not even pranayama, I don't teach, we're talking only about those pranayama that we do teach. Children should gradually start pranayama at 3 years old. They should not do breath holding pranayama. Young children should not do difficult asanas. Young children can start yoga from age 3, lifelong. As long as a person breathes, they must continue to practice pranayama. Pranayama, good for any season. Why worry about winter, summer or monsoon? You should do pranayama for all 12 months. Just this one thing is certain. In the summer season, do pranayama before sunrise. At the time of sunrise, at the sun rises, by the time your pranayama is complete, by that time, the atmosphere everywhere. Even in Rajasthan, it gets cold. Do not do too much pranayama. Keep its speed slow. If doing pranayama in summer, then Kapalbhati. Do it slowly in this manner. You keep this much in mind. Anulom Vilom. Do it slowly. In summer, pranayama should be done slowly. It should be done before sunrise and in the evening at sunset. Pranayama should not be done in strong sunlight or intense heat. I did pranayama at 9:00 AM, summer. What they are doing is not right. Yes, can pranayama be done in an AC room? Possible. Safe. Just enough. Oxygen should be available. Although the amount of oxygen is relatively not as much in an air-conditioned room as it is in an open environment. But still, there's no problem. Pranayama can be done in air-conditioned rooms and doing pranayama in cool conditions has a different kind of joy altogether. When it's very hot, can't wake up early, even in summer, at 10 AM, one can do pranayama even in the heat, in an air-conditioned room. Cold pranayama, special benefit. Yoga, big misconception today. People are making others do pranayama at temperatures of 40-45 degrees. India's tradition was that for pranayama and meditation, householders, saints, great men and yogis used to go to the Himalayas. Cold pranayama, better yoga benefits. Because at this time, heat is generated in the body through yoga. It will have no effect on the body. Therefore, do pranayama at home. Do pranayama in the cold. No problem. Do pranayama in the heat. You have a heart problem, a BP problem, definitely do pranayama. Pay attention to the pace. Hernia, pranayama is fine, just keep pace of pranayama proper. Now, pranayama was instructed by people, but not extensively, just a little. Everyone's attention remained more on asanas, and no incurable disease was reversed by asanas. Consider this, leaving aside spine problems. For spinal bones, doing pranayama is necessary. Therefore, for this, we make them do as much pranayama along with asanas as is necessary for the spine. Bhujangasana, Makarasana, Shalabhasana, Markatasana, Ardhachandra Asana. We also make people do this much because subtle exercises are necessary for our spine and our joints. Some asanas are necessary for the spine, yoga and breathwork. Just do these 7 asanas and 7 subtle exercises. And if you make someone else do this, no harm learning this much, fast or slow. Learn this much in 7 days. There will be no harm from this. Facilitate. Parks, home. Make them do it. Gardens only. Sick people, do it there. No harm will come. No one will be harmed by getting this much yoga done. By doing yoga, as much as we designed the yoga package. But there is a very big illusion, a very big misconception. If you do pranayama, fill your stomach with breath. The first thing is that until now, people haven't. Guided pranayama, guided enough quantity. There is a quantity of prana. In the same quantity, pranayama, doing brings benefit. If you reduce it, there will be no benefit. Rather, harm can occur. Look, caution, time, method. When we practice pranayama daily, we say, pay attention to the method. Time it right. How to do what? Pranayama, we've repeatedly informed the country about duration. Therefore, millions of countrymen have learned to do it with proper method, time, and resolve. Benefits, method, time, the complete process of achieving resolution is explained. So do pranayama. Do pranayama at the correct speed, with its proper rhythm. Now, suppose you have diabetes. You started doing pranayama and did it 5 times. And if you stop your medicines, then there will be harm. Hey, do it for 15 minutes. Do Kapalbhati, Anulam Vilom for 15 minutes. Pranayama, practice correctly for the recommended duration. Until now, in the name of pranayama, a very big misconception and many large. The yoga centers that were open until now. Even. Some, even inside universities and in this very India, incorrect outcomes are being taught. They are filling their stomachs with breath, and in English, in Hindi, you will find hundreds of such books in which it is written. This is about breathing, do abdominal breathing. But it's a very big illusion. A misconception. My brother, even an uneducated man, knows that God gave the stomach to eat food. It was made for this. Lungs were made for breathing. Take breath into the lungs, and from here, the breath will go throughout the entire body. Fill into the lungs. Do not fill the stomach. Do not do this, it will be wrong. Do not fill breath into the stomach. What will happen if you fill breath into the stomach? Filling the stomach with breath will cause harm. Hernia will occur. Gas will form. The diameter of the back will increase. The uterus of mothers and sisters will start prolapsing. Do not fill the stomach with breath. To do vagina, I'm not doing this. Fill the breath in the lungs. We teach this daily. We tell people every day how cautious they ought to be. Never ever fill your abdomen with breath, otherwise be ready to suffer harm. Dangers too, harm too. If you do not exercise caution, do not fill your abdomen with breath because of this. Pay full attention to this. Pranayama, to the extent that it should be done, to the extent it ought to be, not even more than that. Like we say to do Bhastika for 2 to 5 minutes. As an exception, we increase it. Sometimes we do 5 to 15 minutes of Kapalbhati. 5 to 15 minutes, Anulam Vilom. Meaning, we, Bhastika, external Brahmari, Ujjait, Pranava meditation. 2 to 5 minutes. Sometimes we tell special patients during their illness that it will be 10 minutes. Kapalbhati Pranayama for 5 minutes, Anulom Vilom Pranayama for 5 to 15 minutes. Kapalbhati and Anulom Vilom Pranayama, 5 minutes advised. To delay them for just this long is too much, even in very special circumstances. Arthritis, severe muscular dystrophy. The problem is, there's a lot of bronchitis, asthma. Then we slightly increase their amount of Kapalbhati. Just this, then Kapalbhati. Hour a day maybe. Hour of Anulom Vilom, harmful. Therefore, the duration of pranama also needs to be kept in mind. Like, you should sleep for a few hours. Now, if you sleep for 12 hours, it will be harmful. But if you go over 2 hours, it will also cause harm. Less pranayama is fine, but remember this. Less pranayama. Stopping meds is dangerous. It is possible. Therefore, pranayama in whatever quantity. They say, it should be done in that quantity. Just like a medicine's dose is 100 mg, 200 mg, mg is a potency. It's in the same way, even within pranayama, we explain this in detail. When we teach pranayama, how much, how fast, adjust dosage thoughtfully, considering each specific illness. Pranayama. Without it, you could be harmed. Pranayama and all things, moderation is key. Excess is to be avoided everywhere. In sleeping, in eating and drinking, in lust, in indulgence. Wherever you went to excess, wherever you weren't careful, wherever balance is not maintained, there will be loss. The pace of pranama. About this, some people keep repeatedly pointing things out to you and keep making you aware. When we initially started teaching Anulam Vilom, people said, Swami, yes, what we have heard about yoga is that the yoga mind in it is in the number 4. Take, keep 16 inside, leave 8 outside. 1, 4, 2. Pranayama should be done in this ratio. You take, force release, raising everyone's blood pressure permanently. Cleared blockages, reversed cancer, fixed thyroid. Permanently reversed arthritis, permanently reversed asthma. Reversed hepatitis A, B, C, removed spectacles, and glaucoma too. Fixed it. What kind of problem is there? What kind of illness is there that doesn't? Fading away? Biggest proof, they say. Swami, you do yoga like other instructors? Learning is right. One thing to say, millions recovered through our yoga sessions. People started doing yoga. It depends on you that you decide what is right and what is wrong. We did not just advertise yoga. Did we establish yoga? We publicly crores taught yoga to people, directly to 1 crore of people, and more than 250 million just in India. And I'm not even talking about the 170 countries across the whole world. If we look at people across the globe today, the current of yoga has reached more than 250 million people in India alone, and its reach outside India has caused no harm to anyone, only brought benefits because we taught yoga in the correct way. That is its proof. People stopped needing their inhalers. People stopped taking their diabetes pills. BP pills were stop meds, normal BP, cleared blockages. And even until now, we have conducted yoga practices according to the parameters of old tests in modern medical science, and through the practice of yoga, we found results that in just 1 week, cholesterol reduced by 50 to 5200 points. Within the same week, triglycerides normalized. Within 1 week, creatinine levels also decreased. Within 1 week, weight reduced by 3 to 6 kg. Inhalers stopped for most within a week. BP meds stopped affecting the heart. They used to take 10 pills a day. Repeatedly, their medication has now been stopped. Their shortness of breath stopped. The ECG report came back normal. Currently, we are conducting all possible major tests for an individual, including those for asthma, respiratory and lung function tests, complete blood tests, urine tests, ECGs, and echocardiographies. And we are observing that. Within approximately 1 week, yoga provides miraculous benefits. Yoga is simple, no fear, just be careful. Perform pranayama primarily. Do asanas easily. There is no need to do difficult asanas. One thing regarding pranayama, another misconception, is that by doing pranayama, prana rises upwards. What is the prana channel? Pranasthan. A prana channel is that state where even energy flows in the nadi now. By performing Anulom Vilom Pranayama, the flow of prana, breath settles in Sushumna. Breath usually flows through the Idda, Pingala, Sushumna nadis. Breath does not flow, but pranayama does. By performing this, the movement of breath and prana begins even in the Sushumna nadi. This is called pranayama, and the power of the Muladhara chakra is transformed. Kundalini awakens, becoming Urdhvaretta, one with Brahman. So, prana does not ascend anywhere. They don't descend anywhere. The breath, however, goes into your lungs. From the lungs, your blood carries oxygen throughout the entire body, and we keep. Breath in, lungs fill, CO2 out. Breathe as you rise, not directly to brain. Prana, navel, then big toe. Fill. Inhale deeply, filling your lungs completely from there. The lungs, it automatically goes into the brain. It also goes up to the head. It goes up to the toenail, up to the big toe. Prana goes throughout the entire body. Therefore, prana does not ascend anywhere in such a way that if it went up somewhere and then didn't come down, you die or suffer harm. Prana is an essential thing, an essential element for living a normal life. Therefore, the idea that prana ascends and descends in pranayama, that it gets stuck in the head and then won't come down, all of this is our fabricated stories. Yoga is a purely spiritual discipline. It is a means to salvation and liberation, and you publicize it as a discipline for treating diseases. Are you not creating confusion in the name of yoga? Spreading questions from many people and in one place. From that, a vice chancellor wrote. In one place, a professor wrote. In one place, a doctor just wrote that you are promoting yoga as a medical science in its form. I asked, what objection do you have? Do this. I first consider yoga a complete spiritual discipline, and along with being a spiritual discipline, I also consider it a complete medical science. If I consider yoga to be a complete method of medicine, what's the objection in that? If through yoga, diseases are also reversed and samadhi is also attained, then why object to it? And they accept this from Maharshi Patanjali. He says disease recommendation, negligence, laziness, non-abstention, mistaken perception, non-attainment of a stage. Then the absent element. The distinction of mental distractions arose. Suffering in the distant limb, inhalation and exhalation. It became like a distraction. The practice of oneness is a counteraction. Pranayama eradicates disease. Of the body. The covering of ignorance, avidya, that appeared over the mind's consciousness also diminishes. Therefore, the science of yoga is also a complete spiritual discipline. And the science of yoga is also a complete lifestyle. Yoga is a way of life. Yoga is a complete science of life. Yoga is a complete spiritual discipline. Yoga is a complete lifestyle. Therefore, no one should have any doubt about it. Yoga, connecting with one's consciousness, existence, self. If afflicted, sick, suffering, tormented, how to reach samadhi. Yoga eradicates disease, removes obstacles, then comes the solution. Inside, first the illness will be eradicated, only. Then samadhi is attained. Therefore, there is no harm, but rather benefit. In considering yoga a complete medical science, India's glory, India's dignity, this will increase India's honor. There are also many more questions, many misconceptions in yoga, its dangers and precautions. Today, we try to explain a lot to you and what the qualifications of a yogi are. What qualifications does he have? We also informed you about this. But do remember one thing, the 7 pranayama. The 7 subtle exercises and 7 asanas that we taught you teach all of that. We have given you that much ability. Healthy India, healthy world. Healthy India, prosperous India, spiritual India, disease-free India. India filled with self-respect. May health, spiritualism, nationalism, and the self-respect of the homeland awaken. May the discussion of indigenous self-reliance move forward. This is our objective. Now, in this yoga, many people are. They create such misconceptions which have no justification whatsoever. For example, many people say of Swamiji that Muslims should do yoga. I said, brother, yoga is not a religion. Yoga is a way of life. Muslims use yoga for heart, BP, arthritis, same pill, asthma or headache. Everyone's the same, right? Did you take something? Body, nutritive fluid, blood, flesh, bone, marrow, semen. We created this illusion. We made this religion. We created these castes. We set up this hypocrisy. We created confusion in the name of religion. I believe that the dangers of yoga, the misconceptions about yoga, and the precautions for yoga that we have told you about today by becoming aware, yoga benefits endure. Fear not yoga. Fear not yoga. Instead of considering yoga a mysterious, esoteric discipline, yoga is a simple discipline that the sages of India gave us millions of years ago, and which we, due to our own mistakes, forgot during the medieval period. Let us all practice yoga and spread this yoga, this Indian wisdom, throughout the entire world. Do not be fearful, proceed carefully. Learn yoga easily. There will be no dangers, no harm, no illnesses. Rather, all illnesses will be. Eradicate, attain samadhi. Body and mind bonds severed. We will be healthy, and this entire world will be healthy.